At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and each week I'm joined by a panel of guests to discuss all things fandom and pop culture, primarily from a female perspective. You'll find everything from fanfic to cosplay to Schitt's Creek to Supernatural and everything in between. So put on your favorite piece of fandom merch, set aside that fanfic that you're writing about your OTP, and sit back and enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. I'm your host, Erin Marlowe, and on this episode, we are continuing the celebration of my birthday month with a look at the 1995 film, Babe. Yes, the one about that cute little pig that herds all the sheep, wants to be a sheepdog. Yes, that is the movie we are talking about. We are going to be spoiling it, but this movie is, I'm not going to say how many years old. You do the math. I don't want to do the math. I'm refusing to tell the
math is not mathing for us, people. It's too early.
I know. Yeah, I recently did an interview talking with the costume designer, production designer of the movie Violent Ends, and that movie takes place in 1992. And we were talking about how it's a period piece, and that just about, I don't know, that just floors me that 1992 is considered a period piece. And the costume designer was talking about picking up vintage clothing.
No. No.
I'm like, no.
Absolutely
vintage
not.
Clothing? No, that's the 50s. That's the 40s. That's not the 90s.
That's not period.
So I'm not going to tell you how old, but you know how old by just, calculating it in your head. But I'm very excited to talk about this movie. It is, I know some of you may go, I can't believe you're talking about this. You, the horror lover. But I loved this movie. This movie owned me when it came out. I was obsessed with it. So I'm excited to talk about it with Tiff. So hello, Tiff.
Hi, hey, hello, Baram, you. I saw this in the theater, so I was enamored with it. I couldn't wait until I could get it on VHS, which I did.
Yep, same. And I have it now on DVD, so
nice.
Along with the sequel. So yes. So I'm excited to talk about this one. So before we get into it, I'm going to give you the IMDb description and the cast information. And we are going to be spoiling this movie, but you've had a long time to see it. So Babe, which is a G-rated film. I think this is the first time we've talked about a G-rated film on this podcast. From IMDb, gentle farmer Arthur Hoggett wins a piglet babe at a county fair. Narrowly escaping his fate as Christmas dinner, Babe bonds with motherly border collie Fly and discovers that he, too, can herd sheep. But will the other animals accept him? And it stars, of course, James Cromwell as Farmer Hoggett, who, funny enough, James Cromwell took this part because he read the script and he kind of skimmed through and just saw his lines. And, he has hardly any lines in this movie. And he thought, oh, this is going to be an easy phone in, kind of, not phone in, but, an easy little thing. I won't have to do much. And he didn't realize at the time, of course, his character is in a lot of the movie. He just doesn't say a lot. And then Magda Subinsky, who plays Esme Hoggett, who, of course, is Farmer Hoggett's wife. And then the voice cast. Christine Cavanaugh does the voice of Babe. Miriam Margolyes does the voice of Fly. Danny Mann does the voice of Ferdinand, the duck. Hugo Weaving, which it's still, I don't know why it blows my mind every time that Hugo Weaving does the voice of Rex, who is the other border collie in this. Miriam Flynn does Ma. Russie Taylor does the cat. And there are a bunch of other voices as well. Roscoe Lee Brown is the narrator. I did want to mention him as well. So, Tiff, what I first want to know is on a scale of 1 to 5 sheep pigs, what do you rate Babe?
I give it 5 cute little pink little oinkers. She did.
I love the cute little oinkers.
Little oinkers. One thing I will say is that, of course, when this came out, there was a total influx of people buying pigs or piglets. And what ended up happening, unfortunately, was that they didn't read the fine print that these are specially bred to remain tiny little, small piglets. They don't get much bigger than probably, maybe a large house cat, maybe a small dog. And they would get the wrong ones. And of course, they turn into like almost pot-bellied pigs. And then, they'd have to get rid of them because where are you going to put a pot-bellied pig if not on a farm? So people, do your research. If you're going to get a pig, please do your research on it. But yes, 5 sheep pigs all the way. I love this movie. Like you said, it owned you back then. I still love it to this day. It is so sweet. It's so wholesome. It's something that you can watch with the whole family. And I think everybody would just be into it. It's just, from 4 till 94.
Yeah, I too give it 5. I would give it more if I could. And this movie also, I forgot to mention, was nominated for Best Picture. And it was directed by Chris Noonan, and it was written by Dick King Smith, and who wrote the novel, actually, sorry. And George Miller and Chris Noonan wrote the screenplay. And this was like a passion project for George Miller. He'd been trying forever to make this. And because he also produces it, and he like waited for the technology to catch up to the point where he would be able to make this. And this is an example, speaking of fuck AI, of how you can make a movie like this without AI and it looks realistic. Because they use real animals, but they also use animatronics and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I saw this and I really wasn't expecting to like it, even though I love animals so much. And then I ended up loving it. And funny story I'll share really quickly is I went and saw it with my friend, and we both went and got Quiznos ahead of time and snuck our Quiznos in. And we both had stuff on our Quiznos that would have been made out of babes. And we felt so guilty afterwards.
You're like taking the bacon off.
Yes. It was one of those where you're like, oh my gosh, we weren't thinking. And, because it is funny because, the pigs in this, though, I do want to say they grew really fast. So there were 48 pigs that they used during this. But I do want to say USA pork sales dropped by 20% because of this movie, which is just amazing.
I think I didn't eat bacon for a while. Like,
yeah, I did.
I was like, you know what? I can't.
Yeah, and James Cromwell was a vegetarian, and then he became vegan after he did this movie.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah. And, I recently went to a rescue for farm animals in Colorado, and you get to walk around, you get to pet them. And the thing that people don't realize about pigs are incredibly intelligent. People talk like they're not. They are actually a little bit smarter than dogs. And as far as like how they've been tested, and I got to meet some pigs and pet them and stuff like that. And they are actually very intelligent beings. We just don't think about it because we don't want to think about that they're intelligent. I think that's part of what it is. But yeah, they are erroneously called stupid, and they're not stupid. So just throwing that in there. But yeah, I loved this movie very, very much, was obsessed with it. And I'll talk about that more in just a second here for our next segment. So, Tiff, then what were your initial reactions and how well does it hold up?
So, I'm glad you pointed out that Chris Noonan held off on making the project until everything
It was actually George Miller
had held off until the technology had caught up. Because, and we talked about that briefly during Horror Month with Arachnophobia and how the animatronics were really lifelike, really realistic. And I think there's something to be said about CGI has of course, its uses in a lot of big blockbusters. You want to keep people safe. So I get that, doing some things in post-production, but there's something to be said about practical effects. And this utilizes them beautifully along with the animatronics and along with the real animals that are on set. And I think it's a seamless blend. So when I watch it even today, it looks fantastic. It looks great. When the animals look, if they can make Mr. Ed back in the 50s, and stick some peanut butter in a horse's mouth and make it go, well, like that to look like he's
Yeah.
talking. Yeah, you can do things safely and without the use of very environmentally damaging AI to make things look great and beautiful and timeless and seamless. So I think it holds up. I love this movie to this day. I love this movie. It is sweet and it's a delight. It's one of those things that you watch and you are just delighted and tickled by it because everything is just even the the somber parts and the sad parts, you're still like, oh my goodness, it touches you. It pulls at your heartstrings. So I think it holds up, 10 out of 10 sheep pigs. No notes, just no notes, just fantastic job, George Miller and Chris Noonan, just tens across the board.
Yeah, totally ditto that. Like I said, I was obsessed with it. I worked at Blockbuster when it came out on video, and we had a little like area where for kids, and you could play like kid movies in there. And so when I was working, I would always put in Babe until it got to the point where, people were like, Erin, we have got to stop watching Babe. It's driving me nuts. I don't want to watch this movie anymore. So I watched it over and over again. And I think what makes this movie work so well is it embraces the fact that on the surface, it looks like this silly, cheesy movie, but it's really talking a lot about, assumptions we make and our places in the world and, being brave and taking chances and taking risks and the simpler things in life and, like technology ruining some of our connections sometimes, like the fact that they get the alarm clock and then the rooster's feeling replaced. Of course, also Ferdinand because he was trying to be a rooster. And then you got, the fax machine, which is like, oh my gosh, that was the height of technology. And those kind of things replacing what you are already used to using. So I think there are some messages and some meanings in this film. I think this film is also very like, realize that the animals that you're consuming are living beings and, and consuming better if you can at all. I think it's also talking about that for sure. But I also just think it's just such a enjoyable movie to watch. It's entertaining. The characters are so well fleshed out, because most of the main characters are really the animals and Farmer Hoggett. And the animals are so well fleshed out. Like you believe them and you believe that voice would be coming out of that animal. And it's just a beautiful movie. It makes me cry every time. I was watching, of course, we're prepping for this, and I hadn't watched it in quite a few years. And I still knew every single word to this movie, every single word. And I still cried when after the cat tells Babe that, his only use was for meat and to be eaten, and him crying and, getting sick and that whole thing of his heart being broken.
Oh
And
gosh, when he's depressed. Oh.
yes, my gosh. And then when Farmer Hoggett sings to him and starts dancing, it still makes me cry.
That James Cromwell doing like essentially a river dance.
Yes.
It's just the best. It is the best.
Yep. Yep. And the bottle and all of that just, oh my gosh, it just really, really touched me deeply. And I still laugh at a lot of the lines. And I still think it's just so well done. It's so well done. And I think this is a film that you could show to, kids at any decade. And I think it will still hold up. So I love it. I think it's a fantastic film. And there's no issues I have with anything with it. It's not like one of those films where you watch and you're like, this kind of aged badly. This film did not age badly at all, in my opinion.
It didn't.
No.
And
No.
I chalk that down to not only performance, but just, I think the love and the care that the writers and directors put into it. It's timeless. It is legitimately timeless. And who would have thought that we would have said that about, a movie about just a brave little pig, a brave little sheep pig.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the animal characters and who our favorite is. And also just our brief thoughts on the human characters, mainly, of course, Farmer Hoggett, but also his wife. So we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Break through the busiest time of year with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. With real-time guidance and endless ways to move, you can personalize your workouts and train with confidence, helping you reach your goals in less time. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
Okay, so Tiff, what are your overall thoughts on the animal characters? And then I know it's hard, but who's your favorite?
So I think the way the animals are written, and then I guess, obviously the animatronics, you can put them where you want them and do all that kind of stuff. But the way they have also filmed the real animals and utilized the pigs and then the ducks and things like that, and even the mean cat, it's really awesome because they've captured animal behavior and almost tuned it to be human-like behavior, which I think is very clever. It's not like those
Anthropomorphication.
Yes, thank you. That's another.
It's a hard word.
Just another word, that I can't say. It's not these anthropomorphic. I'm just giving it up today. I'm just giving it up. Never mind. It's not like they're trying to make a human-like animal. They are trying to do animal-like humans. And I think there's a distinction with that because I always believe that Babe is a pig. I never believe that Babe is a human acting like a pig. The same thing with Ferdinand the duck, who wants to be a rooster. So I'm like, Ferdinand, do you have body dysmorphia? So, do you have audio dysmorphia? So I think it's just amazing the way they are shaped in our minds and the way that comes across on screen. It's a perfect balance. It really is. It's a perfect balance because you watch the ducks walking by and they're waddling like ducks do. They're not walking like a human in a duck suit. They're waddling like a duck. When Babe goes scampering across the field, he's running like a little pig. He's not running like a human or anything. The, Flea and Fly. I'm sorry, Flea. Rex and Fly. I said Flea. I was like, what the heck are you doing? Flea and Fly. Rex and Fly, being dogs, acting like even though they're, air quotes, a couple, they're obviously a bonded couple and they have had multiple litters of puppies and things like that. They are still dogs. They are not human. Humans in dog suits. So I think that's just perfect. I do. And I want to say that, yes, and Babe, I love him. He is at the top of my list. He is sweet and he just wants he wants to have a purpose and he wants to make things better for his farmer human and he wants to help in any way he can. And I love him for that. I do. I love him for that. I am going to say that right dotted line to that. I'm going to cheat a little bit and I have to. I'm sorry, but I have to cheat a little bit. Dotted line to that though is Ma, because I think Ma really teaches him the ability to the capacity to be brave, the capacity to love things that are different than yourself, to embrace everything around you, to know that, wait a minute, this is not everything that my mother figure, my adopted mother, Fly, has taught me. Sheep are not actually like this. And he accepts these points of view because he realizes that Ma has the experience and the life experience that Fly doesn't necessarily have. And I think the way she breaks it down for him is just so beautiful. Because she gets down to she meets him where he is and she breaks it down for him to his level so he can understand. And I think they have just an absolutely beautiful relationship. So cheating a bit, Babe and Ma are just my two favorites in this. They're my two favorites. And I always get misty with what happens to Ma. I always get misty. I know. I'm just like, oh, Ma.
I know. And then that Babe gets blamed for it at first.
Oh,
and of course,
I was like, he didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I really should have put Babe separately because Babe is, I mean, you can't not pick Babe. So I'm going to do the same cheating thing as well. But yeah, I agree. I think that's what's so amazing about this movie is that it accomplishes it where you really don't see these animals as like human. You see them as animals. And this is just like what they would say, what you would think their characters would say, what you think their personalities would be like. Because I don't care what anyone says, animals have souls. They just do. And, animals have different personalities. You can get a dog that has one personality and then a dog that has a different. Cat's the same. The cat in here is amazing, but like they even say in here, not all cats are like this cat, but there are cats like that cat.
Yes.
Cats like that. I had a cat that was kind of like that when we grew up. We found this cat, Shadow, and it was my sister's cat. And we found her, my sister found her like basically on like thing of ice floating in the alley. And so she was like, a stray cat. And we took her home and like the toughest cat in the world. And my dog, Jasmine, who had a mix of like border collie and American Eskimo. So he was all white, but had the body of like a border collie. And Shadow, my sister's cat, and him didn't necessarily get along the best. And she would just walk by him sometimes and just swat him just for no reason.
Yes.
Would just walk by and just swat him.
It's like, get out of my way. Like, why are you standing there?
Yeah. So this cat is very reminiscent to me of that cat. But I've also known cats, of course, that are not like that. But I think that's what's so great about it is that this isn't supposed to be a representation of all cats or all pigs. It's just this certain one. So it's also showing you the different personalities. But again, it doesn't feel like they lose the fact that they are an animal. And I think that's why it works so well. And all the voice acting is fantastic, just fabulous, fits every character so well. I think everybody does such a great job. So yeah, of course, I love Babe. Babe is the sweetest. I had like a animatronic Babe that would, not animatronic, but like a Babe that would actually like walk around. You push a button, it would walk, it would sit, and it would say stuff.
Cute. I actually collected, like pig, like little, figurines and things like that.
Yeah.
I love pigs. This is pre-Babe. Like I had slippers, like big fluffy slippers that look like pigs. I had pajamas with pigs all over them. I had multiple piggy banks, like actual pigs, and just all of these figurines. And my collection just went through the roof when Babe came out because there was so much stuff, So I had pig plushies and Beanie Babies and all sorts of stuff. So I love this. I was like, yes, we're celebrating my favorites.
Yep. Yeah, and once again, they are so smart. So smart. They're such smart animals. Which is why it would make sense that they would be able to train a lot of real life pigs to do a lot of this stuff as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's very hard to choose like a second favorite. I will say, but I'm going to go with Fly. And I think what they did do this scene where, her puppies are being adopted out and you watch her face and she genuinely looks sad. Like the dog genuinely looks sad. And I know part of it's animatronics, part of it's a real dog, but just the way that was captured and the way the voice work is done is so good. And she just wants to be a mom and wants to mother. And the way she just kind of takes Babe under her paw right away. I love that. And also that Fly ends up growing. And because Fly's whole thing is, well, sheep are stupid and dumb. And I'm bossing them around and you have to be mean and tough with them. And I think she learns through Babe because Babe is like, no, I'm not going to be that way. Learns that there are different ways to approach the work and to approach the sheep. And so I appreciate that as well. And I love her. And she's so beautiful too. I just think
Gosh,
she's
those
so
two border
beautiful.
collies are just gorgeous. They are.
I
I've always
know.
loved the way they look, and I know they can be. I mean, they're herding dogs, they're working dogs,
Yeah.
so I know they can be hyperactive. You have to give them the
Oh, yeah.
work, but oh my gosh, are they gorgeous? Oh my goodness, are they
Yes.
beautiful?
They are. They are. And the people out there who ever want to adopt them with kids, always, the thing is they're herding dogs and they will try to herd your kids. I'm not even kidding. They will try and nip at their heels. So be careful. Like, I'm not saying all of them will do it, but just keep that in mind. Also, cattle dogs are like that too. Fergie has some of that cattle dog and the herding dog in her. And so when you walk her sometimes, she's gotten better about it, but she will try and like she walks in a way that's almost like trying to herd you
Mm,
in her, and it's just kind of natural instinct.
right,
It
right.
can be kind of annoying sometimes, but
Yeah. And it's like, but you know what? It's a protective instinct for them, which can be
yeah.
beneficial, obviously. I mean, obviously if they're on a ranch, if they're on a farm, that's what they're supposed to do. It's the same thing with, it always has bothered me when I see all these people with huskies and in very
Yeah.
warm climates. I live in Southern California, so it's warm here and it gets very, very hot in the summertime. And I'm seeing all these huskies and I'm like, you all realize they're not built for this. This is not where they're supposed to be. And they are working dogs, they're hauling dogs. And if you don't give them something to do, they are destructo. They will
Oh, yeah.
and they're escape artists, apparently. I can't tell you how many times I've seen huskies wandering down the street, just like do 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 do. There's a reason why
Yeah.
why shelters are filled with huskies and husky mixes and things like that. People aren't prepared. So this is the golden rule, folks, and take it from Erin because she knows she's had multiple dogs and she has the wonderful Fergie, our horror loving canine, and also Abbott Elementary, of course, is her comedy. So Erin will tell you, do your research when you're adopting, and adopt, don't shop.
Yes. Please do that because there are way too many breeding dogs and breeders. I mean, which is one thing they are doing in here is they are breeding their dogs. And, I'm always like, I don't really like that. But I forgive this movie because of where it is and everything.
Right.
But yeah, there are way too many. And I volunteered in an animal shelter for like over like 7 years. And so being around dogs of different types. And the thing with huskies, I want to reiterate that because I think there are specific dogs that you have to be well equipped and you have to know about them because huskies and malamutes and stuff like that are not like a regular dog. And by that, I mean, you can't read their body language the same way you do other dogs. And they can jump like 7 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot high fences. They can get out of that. So please, if you're going to have one, number one, don't have one in an apartment. That's one of those dogs that I don't think really does well in that. And don't have them in warm climates and all of that stuff. German Shepherds are also another dog that you really should know about them because German Shepherds need a job. There are other ones that are even more like in the same family that they really need a job,
Right.
but they need something to do. So you want to be trained. But yeah, and it's kind of like when 101 Dalmatians came out, adoptions of Dalmatians went up.
Oh,
And I want to let you know, Dalmatians actually are known for not doing well with kids.
yes.
So please be careful with that. We had one when I was growing up. We had a Dalmatian Airedale mix, and his name was Sandy. And so he had the body of an Airedale, but he had spots and he was white
How
and he had
cute.
spots on his. The smartest dog I've ever known in my life.
Wow.
Like he learned how to stand up and open up a door.
I love that.
And yeah, and he would do it like you would open a door as a human. But he was so protective of us, like incredibly protective. Like we had to get a post office box because he was like the mailman was like, I'm not delivering here.
Oh, okay. Like enemy with paper.
Yes. And we used to have to keep him down in the basement. It wasn't like scary. It was a furnished basement, but down there because he would get into stuff because he was so smart. He got into bleach once and like drug a bleach bottle all over. But then one day we had him down there and he nearly broke the door because we happened to get robbed And it was right around Christmas, and they stole our Christmas presents.
A Grinch? An actual Grinch?
Yes, yes. We had it was around Cabbage Patch. There were Cabbage Patch Kids or something like that in there. There was also one of the first kind of Nintendo kind of things was under there.
A pox on them and all their descendants.
Yeah, he was still the smartest dog I've ever known in my life was that dog. But again, that dog, because of the Dalmatian, had that protective instinct in him. And so you have to really, really, really research before you get animals. Anyway, so let's move on to the humans, or, mainly Arthur Hoggett. But of course, his wife is there too. I know their children come in, but to me, they're not as important.
Right.
But SMA Hoggett. So what are your thoughts on the two main human characters?
So I'll start with Esme because she is hilarious. Because the way Magda Zvinsky plays her, she rules her roost with a firm hand. She's telling them, she's telling Farmer Hoggett, what to do, where to go, when to do it. and she's just, she's the matriarch. She is the household manager, and she knows what she's doing. She knows how to do it, and she knows how to be the most efficient with it. And I think what she wants to, I think people can read her irritation at first with Farmer Hoggett's kind of not obsession, but devotion to Babe as annoyance. And when she's like, why is this man, so enamored with this pig? It's a pig. Like, a pig is for food, like the mean cat says, a pig is food. The purpose is food. Like Ferdinand wants to be the rooster because he's like, no, they eat ducks for food. Like, what are you talking about? So I think Esme, and it takes her until, Babe wins that competition, wins the sheepdog competition as the champion of all champions, the perfect scores, until she doesn't really see the vision that I think that Farmer Hoggett has, but that's okay. I don't think she's mean about it. I think she's just like, I have to make sure this man who is kind of in dream world sometimes, kind of in dreamland, I have to keep him on the straight and narrow. And sometimes you need that in a relationship. You need that person who is going to be pragmatic and practical about things to keep the production flowing. It's a working farm, so they do have to have protocols in place. And, I know the breeding thing, but I will say in this timeline, I feel like all of the animals are well taken care of.
Yeah.
They're doing responsible breeding. Fly and Rex are not part of the same litter, so the puppies are all healthy and well-tempered and ready for work. So it looks like they live in a little valley that has a lot of farmland and ranches and things like that. So I'm going to believe that they are very responsible breeders. So she understands that because they're a working farm, that things have to keep moving in a certain direction. And she handles that side of things while Farmer Hoggett is in the clouds at times and does what he needs to do. But I think they have a great balance. I do. I think they have a great balance between the two of them. And they have that relationship where she does all the talking and Farmer Hoggett is like, yes, dear. And then Farmer Hoggett, what can you say about Farmer Hoggett? He's so gentle and so loving to all of the animals. I know he has a special relationship with Babe, like you said, when he does his dance for him to get him out of his depression and feeds him, hand feeds him with the bottle and things like that. And how many farmers are going to do that? How many farmers are going to take the time out of their day to actually make sure this one little piglet gets the nourishment that he needs and to ensure that he gets his mojo back, because Babe had really lost his mojo from that mean cat. The way he keeps a sense of whimsy, but he cloaks it in this kind of almost stern visage, but he's not. He's still very gentle. You can tell he loves his kid. He loves his grandkids. That dollhouse that he makes for the grand. I mean, that is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that little brat. But I didn't want that. I wanted
that,
what I saw on television.
Such a brat.
Such a brat.
Such a brat.
Oh my gosh. I would have snatched her up so fast. Don't apologize.
Yep.
I just think it's a great balance between the two of them. I mean, ultimately, this is a movie about a relationship between a farmer and his piglet. And I think just blasting through the expectations that people have of you. People think that Farmer Hoggett is kind of a dreamer and everything. And when you see his sheep pig coming out, you're like, okay, this man has lost his Cocoa Puffs right now. He is absolutely cuckoo. And when, Babe wins and is top of the mountain, it's like, okay, well, maybe he knows something that we don't know. It's just, I just love their relationship. I do. I love their relationship. Farmer Hoggett is not everything, is more than what people think of him as well, and Babe is more than what people think of him or what animals think of him too. So they're kindred spirits. And I love that.
Yeah, I love that you say the kindred spirits part, because I think that's very true. And I do, I want to say for these two as a married couple, I think sometimes people don't realize that sometimes for some couples really work really well if one of them is the more outgoing one and the more talkative one, and the other one is kind of like the more quiet, keeps to themselves kind of thing. And I think that's how they kind of balance each other out really well. And you can kind of tell that sometimes, Arthur is kind of like, okay, yeah, kind of like going along with what his wife is saying and doing. But he notices stuff that others don't notice, I think. Like he really, really is tuned into what Babe is doing and notices this potential there before anyone else does. And it's just so fascinating to watch that. And it took a lot of guts, really, to be like, I am going to submit this pig into the competition.
Right.
And of course, with doing the clever name is Pig. So
yeah.
And watching Esme, when she's with her friends in that hotel room, watching and how she's crying and she just she's so upset.
And they're fanning her because she's fainted.
Yes, that too. And they're just like, it'll be okay. But then how emotional she gets when it works out, and how much you watch her face and see how much love she has for her husband and how proud she is of her husband and everything. And I just really thought that was a really beautiful thing to watch. And yeah, the other, their grandkid, their granddaughter is a spoiled little brat.
Oh, she's such the worst. She's the worst.
I'm like, your grandmother put so much effort into this for you, and you're going to cry about it because it's not what you particularly wanted. I mean, yes, there are kids that do that. It's not like it's unrealistic.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I really, really like watching them together. And I like also that it's a very even relationship, equal relationship. They are both equals. There's not one that's dominant over the other. And I do love that, for a lot of the animals, they're like, that's the boss and the boss's wife. And then I love that the cat is like, that's the boss and the boss's husband, basically. I love that. How it's kind of switched there. I always will love that little touch where it's like some of the animals, or look up to the boss as the main one. And then, the man is the main one. And then the others look up to the wife as the main one. So I will always love that little touch. I think that's so funny.
Adorable. And cats,
it is.
Cats give off even male cats, they give off a very kind of matrilineal energy. They do. Because I have a cat and she knows, and I have a girl cat, she knows that I'm the alpha. She does. She knows that she recognizes me as the alpha. And as for my husband, she's very indifferent toward him. She's like, whatever, dude.
She's like, you're there.
She's like, literally, she's like, okay, that's the spare human. That that's how
funny.
she views him. He's a spare human.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. And I had a male cat, Phantom, once, and even with him, I could see that as well. And he was also very much like, he did not want to be held. He's like, "What are you doing? You don't pick me up and carry me. I don't do
Right.
I
Right.
come to you when I want attention.
Exactly.
I'm going to sit on your lap, but you're not going to carry me. That's not going to happen. I'm not a baby."
Exactly. Exactly. Don't try to swaddle me. Don't. Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
Yep. Yeah. But he was a funny cat because he would get up on top of the refrigerator, and we had this was like in the first apartment I ever lived in, like right out of high school. And he got up there and we had this huge thing of animal crackers. I don't know why. And he would like knock one down and go down there and try and eat it. He was so weird. He loved like French fries. He loved all these things. He hated beef though. He would not eat any food that had beef in it.
Wow.
And I would buy him all these toys, and he found a button fell off the couch.
That's it.
And that was his favorite toy.
Absolutely.
He's like, "No, I'm not going to play with the other ones." But he would play fetch, but he would only do it with like me and my roommate. But if people came over that he'd never met before, he'd be like, "I don't play fetch. What are you talking about? I don't do that.
Yeah,
That's beneath me."
What do you No, I don't. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, we're going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to mention one of our favorite lines. So I know there are so many good lines in this movie, so I know it'll be hard to narrow down. Because of time, I'll let you mention a couple. So we'll be right back.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El Volkswagen Tiguan con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
Baking Hershey's Kisses Peanut Butter Blossoms is the perfect way to celebrate the holiday season with friends and family. With their classic, rich, creamy milk chocolate taste, there's no better way to heartwarm the holidays than by baking with Kisses chocolates. Find Hershey's Kisses holiday chocolates at your favorite retailer.
Okay, Tiff, I know. It's another version of your top 3 that, but what are a couple of your favorite lines from the movie?
Well, I mean, when I think the classic, "That'll do, pig, that'll do."
Mhm.
That's a beautiful statement because it's not just saying, you did a great job, but it's like, you are enough. You matter, and you matter to me. I think that's the biggest thing. Him, Farmer Hoggett saying that, and the look, and I'm sure that's the animatronic or the pig looking up, but he's like, and the little sigh. Like, I did a
Yeah.
good job. I did a good job. And I made my farmer, I made my human proud, and I'm happy about that. And my work is done,
Yeah.
done for now. So I think that's beautiful. But I think the main one that I really love, and this is from the narrator, and this is when Farmer Hoggett and Babe meet for the first time when he picks him out of the litter. And it says, "The pig and the farmer regarded each other, and for a fleeting moment, something passed between them, a faint sense of some common destiny," which I think is just beautiful, right?
It is. It's very beautiful.
It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
Very beautiful.
It really is. So they're on this path together, and I just think it's so gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. Absolutely. So Farmer Hoggett and Babe are on this same path together. And, I did mention that they're kindred spirits, and I almost think it's more than that. They have this bond that I believe is one of those things that will be unbroken until, one of them shuffles off this mortal coil. We've seen that before with animals and their humans. They just have this tight knit, more than friendship. And I believe that Farmer Hoggett and Babe have that together. It almost feels like a parent and a child. It really does. And I've never felt that necessarily with, I have loved all of my animals. I've had my first cat, Blackie. I had her for 16 years, and she was my bestest best friend. but I never felt like I was her mother, and that might have been because I was a little girl when I got her. I was 4 years old when I got her. So that could have been why. But even now with my cat Stella, I don't feel like I'm her mother because I just don't think she has that personality, to be perfectly frank. I think she's a cat. She knows she's a cat, and she recognizes that I'm her human and I'm the alpha, but she doesn't see me as a parent. She sees me as family, but not as a parent. And I feel like Babe knows that Fly is his mother, his adopted mother, but Farmer Hoggett is definitely his human father. And just that, their bond is just, I think it's unshakable. I think it's unbreakable. And I think that quote just perfectly sums up that zing of common destiny. Like the narrator says, they just lock in together and they're just like on one accord. they're on one accord.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I love the way you put that because it's very true. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, I'm like going more in the comic route here, but
I love that.
but I love all of those because it's very hard to pick like just a couple that you like, but I do love it. Because I think Ferdinand the Duck has some of the funniest lines in this whole
hilarious
movie, and the way they're delivered is so perfect. I just love how the whole thing of like, the horse is saying the cat says they call it Christmas, about Christmas happening, and then Ferdinand going, Christmas dinner, yeah, dinner means death. Death means carnage. Christmas means carnage. It's the way it's delivered. The Christmas means carnage. For years, I quoted that all the time when we were getting ready for Christmas because it's so hilarious.
It really is.
Because, it is, there's also the sad part where you can look at it like, yeah, that's probably the way animals would look at Christmas, the animals that are eaten. But yeah, it's just so funny. I love that so much. I think it's just just the way Ferdinand delivers that. Yeah. You can choose any of his lines.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a panic on the
I know. Christmas means carnage. Just the way he says that is so funny, and him flying away right afterwards. It's so funny. And then I also love when Babe first meets Ma, and he's like, "What are you?" And she's like, "I'm a ewe," and trying to describe what kind of sheep she is. And he's like, "No, what are you?" And then go back and forth. I don't know. It's just kind of cute. It's one of those cute little exchanges there. So I love the really heartfelt ones, or the ones that make you kind of emotional. But I just decided I'd choose a couple of the funny ones. Really, any Ferdinand line would work when they are doing the whole thing, trying to steal the mechanical rooster, as they call it. That whole sequence is hilarious. It's so funny. And Ferdinand being allergic to cats is like
the most random thing.
I know, it's so great. I love that so much. And Babe just really wanting to help.
Yes.
And not really knowing what he's doing. So I love all of that. But yeah. And I love all the exchanges where they'll be like, or the narrator will be like, because dogs know that sheep are kind of stupid, and then sheep know that dogs are kind of not stupid, but
right.
The way they describe
that sheep are stupid, and then the sheep. Everyone knows that wolves are really ignorant and cruel.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I just love that because it's like it just fits so well. Yeah, so great. Like almost any line. Like I said, when I was watching this, I basically was sitting there like reciting what was coming up next, and I didn't even realize I'd be able to do that. So it's one of those that sticks with you. Okay, well, it is time to play 6 Degrees of Finn Whitrock. I want to just admit I went a very lazy way, so I apologize, but I did. So, Tiff, how did you connect Finn Whitrock to Babe?
So I used the iconic narration voice of Roscoe Lee Brown, and Mr. Lee Brown was in A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court with Tova Feldsha, who was in West Hampton with Finn Whitrock.
Oh, that's a new little short film that Finn did that's been on the festival circuit. I see it on Instagram constantly.
Okay, yeah. And just for context, also there's Roscoe Lee Brown and Tova Feldsha have another connection. They weren't in the same episode, but they've both been in the Law and Order universe as well. So they have that also. They both played defense attorneys in different iterations.
Awesome. I love, Tiff, I loved that you used something that we've never used before, West Hampton. That's a new one. So that's awesome. Yes. And I do want to also say we are recording this on Saturday, November 15th. And 3 years ago, Tiff and I went and saw Finn Wittrock on stage in 222, A Ghost Story. And that was exactly 3 years ago, Tiff. It popped up in my memories.
Wow. Yeah, I had a lot of Erin got to see me jump scare like 6 times.
That's true.
every time the flashing light came on, I think I knocked my M&Ms, like some of my M&Ms out of the box.
Yeah, that was fun. No, that was a lot of fun.
And it was that was a good play.
It was a
really
good play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because it popped up in my memories and photos, and I'll have to send it to you, but there's a photo of Tiff and I, and then there's a photo that I took of Finn during during the curtain call and everything like that. You know what I'm talking about? I've done theater. Why am I not, able to say the words? Anyway.
Words are hard.
But I didn't realize it was going to come up on this day. So I thought that was kind of
nice.
Sweet that we were recording this, and it was
the
anniversary of that. The last time we've seen each other in person.
Oh my gosh, I know. I can't believe it's been 3 years, but
I know. But
we're back. We're back. Yes.
Just a few months.
That's a few months.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen Carla in person in 10 years. It was like 10 years ago this month that I met Carla in person. I've only met Carla in person once, so
I haven't seen Carla, let's see. Gosh, in person, it's had to have been at least like 9 years since I've seen Carla in person. And it's been longer than that with Meg. It's been a long, long time. We're trying to connect. So we're trying to, people have families and people have, work, and scheduling is just, it's a lot, but we love each other.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird to say stuff like that because we talk every day.
Yes.
I saw Meg last year when I was on my road trip. So I saw Meg then. But yeah, it is like that does happen where it's like you're talking to people all the time and you're like, well, that's weird that I've only like seen you in person like a couple of times in my life. It's so weird because you feel so close to people, but yet you haven't seen them that much. It's the new age of friendship.
Yes. Which can be, honestly though, it gives you these connections with people we all met,
exactly
via social media. So, we've kept up via an iteration of that too. So it's all good.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's all good, people.
Yes, it is. It is. So thank you so much, Tiff, for joining me to talk about Babe. And I didn't give my 6 degrees.
You didn't give. I was about to say. I was like, wait a minute. Don't sign off yet, Erin. You haven't given your 6 degrees of Finn.
I got into the reminiscing. So like I said, I took the easy way out, and I apologize, but I just did. So James Cromwell, of course, was in season 2 of American Horror Story, playing a completely repulsive, awful, horrible Nazi. And who also did experiments in Asylum. He's so god awful. His character is just evil.
Terrible.
And of course, Finn Wittrock has been in a ton of Ryan Murphy stuff. I mean, you could just use like Sarah Paulson. And Sarah Paulson, of course, was in season 4, which is Freak Show, which was the first season of American Horror Story that Finn was in. And he was actually nominated for an Emmy for his performance as Dandy Mott, which, I think that is, he's also a slimeball, absolute slimeball. But I think it is a fantastic performance that Finn gives in that season of American Horror Story. There are, of course, clowns involved in that season, so I know that prevents a lot of people from watching it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he is really, really, he's so good in that season. Yeah. Playing like a complete man-child. He's so awful, but
he really is.
there's YouTube video of just like learn your ABCs with Dandy Mott, and it is hilarious. And it's just little lines that he has because he has some amazing lines. So yeah. So now I can wrap up.
Hey. There you go. There you go.
So thank you so much, Tiff, for joining me for this episode. So if you want to just tell people where they can find you.
So I'm on here and there and everywhere at Who Is Tiff Is Me. I do have Blue Sky. So if you reach out there, I have my notifications on. So I can actually see what people say to me because I noticed I did not have my notifications on previously. So I have rectified that, folks. But I'm mainly on the Discord with the rest of the podcast crew, and we talk about books. There's some interesting discourse right now on a few books that Carla is reading, and also some others have read, I think, one or two in the series. So they're talking about science, and I'm like, ooh, science. I need a dictionary to read along with the book. So it's a lot of interesting stuff, though. Like Erin always says, safe space. Don't come in with AI nonsense, though. We don't tolerate in these parts. We don't tolerate that.
Nope. We sure don't. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And Fergie the dog, I didn't actually watch this with her, which I should have, to just see how she would have reacted. But, she gets kind of upset when you're talking about other animals. She still hasn't forgiven me for my ongoing love of Indy the dog from Good Boy.
Nope. Sleep with one eye open. I keep telling you.
I know. Just wait. If I meet Indy in person, man, she's
plotting her revenge.
You can follow Fergie on TikTok at Schroeder and Fergs. That's SCHROEDERANDFERGS. It's long, but it's worth it. To find all our past episodes, to find links to our social media like the Discord that Tiff mentioned, please head on over to our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And while you're there, consider becoming a Patreon supporter today. For as little as $3 a month, you get ad-free content, you get episodes a day early, and you get bonus content as well. So we are going to be releasing this month a special episode discussing one of Ryan Gosling's films in depth. So I'm not positive on this day what it'll be, but it'll probably be The Fall Guy. So if you want to hear us talk about The Fall Guy, you'll want to become a Patreon supporter today. Plus, you occasionally win prizes. So join today by clicking the link in the show notes or head on over to the Support Us tab on our website. It's a fandomthingpod.com. And next week, we are rounding out my birthday month with a look at a novel, one of my absolute favorite books of ever. And that is Dean Koontz's book, Odd Thomas, which of course became a series of books, but we're going to just focus on the first one. So you have like a week to read it, or, there's an audiobook version. I would say cheat and watch the film, but I'm not really that big of a fan of the adaptation. But we are going to talk about that, me and Carla, and I'm very excited to talk about like one of my all-time favorite books by my absolute favorite author. So I think Dean Koontz is 10,000 times better than Stephen King. So there.
You're like, there, stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
I know. Well, and if you love animals, I do want to say one thing about Dean Koontz is he loves dogs, like loves dogs. And he writes a lot of dogs into a lot of his different stories. He also has cats, like in Odd Thomas, there is a cat. And the way he writes dogs is so beautiful. He did a whole book dedicated to his dog that used to be on the back cover of all of his books, his late dog. And it's called A Big Beautiful Life. And it's a book that if you don't like horror, you can still read it because it's not at all horror. It's just about his dog and how incredible his dog was and just how connected he felt to his dog. And it is a big little life. And then he also has done children's books with that dog as well. So I'm just putting that out there since we were talking about animals. So yeah. So we will be talking about Odd Thomas. That's how we're going to wrap up the month. And then I'll tell you next week what December is looking like. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and Free Palestine.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
From Adams Morgan to Anacostia Park, we all want safer neighborhoods. But what does real safety mean? Real safety means preventing crime before it happens. By having police work with communities to disrupt cycles of violence. By supporting families with stable housing. And providing more mental health and drug treatment. We know that adding more police and locking up more people doesn't make us safer. Real safety means investing in the things that help prevent crime. Learn more at realsafetydc.